Oppenheimer is finally here this weekend, the most anticipated weekend of the summer. And right now, I am going to review the first one, and that is Oppenheimer. So let's get into my thoughts right now. Hollywood right now is in a chaotic state. Both the actors and the writers unions are on strike, and I want to say I support the unions 100% in what they are doing and what they are fighting for, because it is very, very important when you look at the details of what they are asking for. It's really just being able to provide for their families, put food on the table, and make enough to get some health care. And the whole AI thing and the whole residuals are very important to these performers and these writers, as they should be getting what they deserve. And I just want to say that I fully support the unions before I start talking about these films in my videos. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tyson, and we are here to talk about movies. We do movie reviews, movie trailer reactions, we cover major movie news, we do movie rankings. We try to do it all here on the channel, so if that sounds something that is interesting to you, please stick around and subscribe. We are on the way to 1,000 subscribers, and I would love to have you guys along with us for that journey. And like I said at the beginning of this video, Barbenheimer, it is here. I have been very excited about this weekend, and particularly about this film, Oppenheimer. It's a new Christopher Nolan film, and it is outstanding. I walked away from this movie, I would sum it all up by saying I was stunned. I was just stunned at what I witnessed for 3 hours. I didn't really know what to expect going in, but I did expect greatness, and I'm happy to say that's exactly what this film is. It's greatness. First of all, Cillian Murphy does a fantastic job. The acting across the board in this movie is like my favorite part by far. I mean, the way Cillian Murphy acts, and just his face alone and his eyes, it just draws you in. You see the pain and the conflict that his character Oppenheimer is feeling about the destruction he created, and just how is that weighs on him. You can see that kind of throughout the whole span of the film, and it is just beautiful to see. He is outstanding, and he, I think, will get a nomination for Best Actor at the Academy Awards, but we'll talk about Oscars towards the end of this video, because I think this film has a good chance of getting nominated for quite a few of them. And speaking of cast, Robert Downey Jr., fantastic as well in this film. I love him, obviously. He has been Iron Man, Tony Stark for about 15 years, but this film, he disappears into this role of Strauss. And almost when watching the trailers, you can't really know it's him. Sometimes he looks unrecognizable, and that's just brilliant. I love how they did that. I love his direction of this character he took, which is kind of the antagonist of Oppenheimer. So seeing these two characters kind of go at it head to head, and how that was filmed was just brilliant. Emily Blunt is in here, Matt Damon, Florence Pugh. They all give beautiful performances as well. And you have so many other people in this movie. I mean, I can't even name all of them, because that's how many there are. I know Kenneth Branagh's in here, Gary Oldman's in here for a little bit, Josh Hartnett. There's so many people in this film. The cast is just stellar. It's brilliant, and it is a great, great point of this movie. It's just fantastic. The way Nolan takes this film, adopted from the book American Prometheus, about Oppenheimer here, and the movie, it's called Oppenheimer, and it's because this movie is really about him. It's not just about the Manhattan Project, about Trinity. It focuses on the life of Oppenheimer himself, which, I should have maybe picked up, but I didn't really realize how much depth we were going to get about his life, and the lead up to this, and then even after it. The thing that Nolan, I think, loves to do the most with his films is create a new sense of time. And in this film, it's no different. We kind of get three timelines here intertwined with each other. We do get the before, the Trinity, and we get the after. But the movie's not in that order. They all three intermix throughout the film, which was a little confusing for me. That's one of my nitpicks about the film. I didn't love that, per se. It did kind of mess with me sometimes. I was like, wait, is this before or is this after Trinity? what exactly is happening. By the way, Trinity, if you don't know, that's when they dropped the bomb and did all that out in Los Alamos. So the timeline, I appreciated what he was doing. It didn't work for me 100% because I was confused, but it was different, it was unique, and I can appreciate that in the film. And Nolan just knows how to do this visually. I mean, it is outstanding. He has famously said no CGI in this film, and the way that they film the explosion in this film is just beautiful. I can't say any other word besides beautiful. It's outstanding. The way you feel sitting there watching this on screen, you are stunned. You are stuck in your seat. You're on the edge of it, and you're silent. Everyone has that gasp of, oh my gosh, what am I watching? You are watching brilliant filmmaking. By far the best way I think I have seen like an explosion on screen. It's just so beautiful and so practical, which I love. I love that there was no CGI and that he created a way for it to look as real as it possibly could be. Film is definitely going to get praised on its visuals alone. The runtime here is 3 hours. It is a little lengthy for me. I did feel the time. I would say that you could have probably cut 20 to 30 minutes. I know not everybody agrees with that. That's just my opinion. I do think it was just a little too long. But still, you are invested in this story. And after this movie, you are going to want to look up everything about this story. I also will say that the way they incorporated the quote that Oppenheimer famously said, it's on my shirt here, which is a Barbenheimer shirt. He famously said, "I have become death, destroyer of worlds." I don't want to explain how they exactly filmed that during the film, but the way that they did, I thought it was the best use of that quote during that moment was my favorite part of the film. It was just brilliant how they added that in when it happened. Chef's kiss, brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And ultimately, guys, that's how I would describe this film. It is being praised as maybe the best Nolan film. It is being praised as the best film of the year. I would say it is one of the best films of the year. I don't quite know if it's my favorite, but it is definitely in my top 3 for sure. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I enjoy it and I love it. It is really true cinema at its finest. I think so many people are going to go to this film walking out stunned. I mean, the way that this film wraps up, the ending, it left me speechless. I just didn't know. I couldn't believe what I just saw. And it really does make you question the times we are living in now. I can't appreciate this film enough. So, with that all being said, my score for Oppenheimer, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think this film is brilliant. It is breathtaking. It is outstanding. Nolan, I do think it's one of his best. It's not my favorite Nolan, but it's definitely one of my best in the acting here. Now, let's get into the Oscars in that race. I think that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and does he deserve it? His performance is breathtaking, outstanding. I love it so much. He just did a phenomenal job transforming into this role. I think Cillian Murphy is going to get a nomination for Best Actor. Again, like I said at the beginning of this video, he deserves it. The way he acts just with his eyes alone makes you feel just, it's just brilliant. Emily Blunt in here is fantastic, although I don't think her or Florence Pugh, they are both great in this film. I just don't think either of them get enough screen time to be nominated, which is kind of a bummer. I wish we got more of Emily Blunt, but she has a great moment in the third act where it's amazing acting for sure. Matt Damon is great in here, but I don't think he'll get nominated because I think that will all go to Robert Downey Jr. for that supporting category. I think the film is going to get nominated for Best Picture. That was almost a no-brainer. Nolan's going to get nominated for Best Director, as he should. And I think the sound design in here, oh my gosh, the sound design and the cinematography in here is one of the best I've ever seen. Nolan films sometimes get criticized for sound. This film was brilliant for its sound mixing and sound editing. I loved it so much. It is like a character of the film. This is a loud movie, and it is one of the best experiences I've ever had in the theater. So I think that is definitely going to get nominated for cinematography and sound as well, and film editing. I think the editing in here is brilliant, and I think that's going to get recognized in that category as well. How many Oscars I think this will win, I don't know. I think that's a little too early to tell right now, but I definitely think it's going to get nominated a good amount for this year's Academy Awards. Guys, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Go see it in IMAX because this film deserves to be seen on the largest screen possible. It's made for IMAX. It's filmed by IMAX cameras. It's just brilliant. It really is. It's just brilliant. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I want to know everything about what you guys think of Oppenheimer because it's truly a great cinematic experience. With that all being said, until the next one, I'm Tyson Honecker, and I'll catch you then.